What's up, everyone? Today I'll be giving my thoughts on whether Fortnite Chapter 4 is good or not. I made my wish list at the end of Chapter 3 of many different features I wanted them to add, and you guys really seem to like that video. So the question we'll be answering today is, did they deliver? Let's find out. It's your boy Mystic9 here, and today I want to jump right into the question I asked at the very beginning of this video, which is Fortnite Chapter 4 good? We'll be looking at the weapons, mobility, the map, the updates, arena, and competitive, and a secret buff you may have missed. Let's hop right into it. Let's kick it off with the weapons. I think the very first thing we wanted was a diverse loot pool, which I believe Fortnite definitely delivered with. As far as assault rifles go, we now have a few different ARs like the Scar, the Red Eye, and the Tactical AR. I'd first like to note that the Scar is absolutely terrible this season, in my opinion. This version of the Scar has really bad bloom and is overall just very inaccurate. However, I do like the Red Eye because it allows you to sit back and get shots from a distance while doing a load of damage. I do think it's fairly balanced though, because it's got that trade-off with the hip fire, because the gun is very weak in that department, and I think it all comes down to your playstyle whether you decide to rock this AR or not. Then we also have the DMR in the game, which is technically classified as an AR in the game, but I don't really think of it as an AR. I really hate this AR, and if Epic is going to add an AR in the game, then it needs to be a hit scan. I have no idea why Epic would add an AR like this when it has to compete against guns like the Scar and the Red Eye. And it's competing against a Scar that's tremendously worse than what we've had in the past. Obviously, I'm taking either the Scar or the Red Eye, so really the DMR is just taking up another AR space in the game and could easily be replaced with one of the better vaulted ARs. With this bad of an AR loot pool, you would think this season would already be wraps, but with how balanced the SMG and pistols are this season, the pistols probably being a little too strong, it gives another option than just using the ARs this season. In pubs, you can easily run a pistol with a shotgun, hammer, and double meds, then easily replace the pistol with an SMG if that's more your playstyle. In comp, I will typically run a Red Eye with a shotgun, double meds, and then the hammer. So overall, I think the ARs are fairly balanced. Now, the shotgun meta this season has been very simplified, and I gotta say, I'm not really against this version of Fortnite. You have the Thunder shotgun for one, which is there for you if you like more of the hard-hitting shotguns. But then they recently patched the shotgun so it has a cleaner, quicker pullout time and is overall just much cleaner to use when editing and going for those quick, high damage shots. You also have the Maven shotgun, which is there for more of the casual player base and is also for those players that like to jump right in a box and get a high volume of shots off all at once. It also does great damage, so you're not taking what feels like a huge damage decrease when going from the Thunder shotgun to the Maven shotgun. Now that we've talked about shotguns, let's talk about SMGs for a second. So the SMGs, it's very simplified and pretty straightforward, much like the shotties. Most people have been rocking the Twin Mag SMG, which has a lower magazine size, but fairly high damage, quick fire rate, and a quick reload time. This is definitely the SMG you want to be rocking this season, if you're not already. I've found the machine SMG to be pretty useless when being compared to the Twin Mag SMG. As far as the rest of the weapons go, you also have the X-Cal, which was very strong at first, but has now been fairly balanced. I still think it's too spammy. It can still be a bit overwhelming at times, though. So hopefully they kind of look into that down the road. But I'll be honest with you guys, this video was supposed to go out probably about a week or two ago, but I got backed up with other projects and stuff that I was working on, so I got out a little later. So to be honest with you, now the X-Cal is kind of it's kind of average in the game. Like, I don't really pick it up anymore unless I'm like running party time and just camping up in the air the whole game. But anyways, I also think one of the things we're missing from the weapon loot pool is the traps. I really miss having the traps in the game, like the armored walls and the bounce pads. I think these should always be in the game no matter what the meta is. Okay, so now that we've talked about all the weapons, now I'd like to bring up a point I made in my chapter 4 wishlist video, which was fun and unique mobility items. I think Fortnite nailed it with this wish. The Shockwave Hammer has been absolutely amazing and fun when specifically talking about mobility. Epic is doing a great job for balancing the hammer, and if more needs to be done on the comp side of things, then I'm sure we'll see a couple more balance changes in the near future. I also think the Shockwave Hammer has made Fortnite in-game so much more fun to watch because the hammer adds a level of craziness that gives you those earlier Fortnite comp vibes, kind of like the World Cup, which I love. From a casual standpoint, the hammer is a lot of fun to just toss yourself around the map. I have a buddy I play with all the time that literally has to land on a hammer every game because they like it so much, and you know who you are. Overall, I really like this item, and I never imagined Fortnite would nail a mobility item as much as they have with this one. If it has to get nerfed to the ground because so many people are complaining, then so be it, because in the future, when we look back at this season, the Shockwave Hammer will be a staple of this season as a whole. The next big point I wanted to make is the map. I truly think Epic delivered with a great map this season, with features such as the different biomes, structures, and just the overall format of the map. The snow biome with the medieval vibes, the darker green with kind of the more OG vibes, and the lighter green with the Chapter 3 vibes, as those sections of the map have the trees that can't be shot down, just to get the context to the area of the map I'm talking about. One thing I asked for was for vaults to stay on the map and to bring back the bosses as special mythic weapons and a key card to get into the main vault. I really liked the way fights would work themselves out towards the beginning of Chapter 2 when teams would fight over all the loaded loot you could get from these POIs, and the overall feeling you would get leaving the POI feeling more than set up for the rest of the match. I know a lot of people like the new key system because it feels more random, but that's the complete opposite of the point I made previously, so that's why I would rather have the bosses with the key card loot instead. Previously, it looked like the map as a whole was going to be a mixture of Chapter 1, 2, and 3, and I stated in my wish list that I hope this wasn't the case and that we would get a complete new map with only maybe 15% of the Chapter 4 map being OG. Epic delivered with this and with a completely new map, and one that actually feels and plays very well. It seems like we might get a couple OG POIs throughout the season, like Steamy Stacks, because there have been leaks of the audio files from the POI, and Tilted might be frozen in the snow again, which I'm completely on board with this, but like I said previously, I'd rather have new, more exciting things come out instead. So far, the mobility on the map has felt great. The dirt bikes have made it a lot of fun to get around the map, along with the Shockwave Hammer. They also introduced the new augment system, which grants abilities like glider redeploy, the Shockwave effect while sprinting and jumping, and the party line augment is back as well. You definitely can't just fly all over the map, but you can definitely get from point A to point B if you have a long zone pool or anything like that. The slipstreams around the map have been another alternate method of getting around the map as well. Now, I also asked for the map to be cater more towards zero build mode, and let me tell you, I can tell a big difference when it comes to finding cover around the map, and there definitely isn't as much open space on this map to get shot. I will say the Shockwave Hammer is a big aid when it comes to zero builds, because you can almost always use it to back up and reposition yourself if you run into a bad situation. I also asked for 100% chest spawns, and we unfortunately did not get this. I really wish Fortnite would just put this feature back in the game, because there's really only advantages of this feature. It enables teams to spread out more and utilize more of the map, because you can turn smaller drop spots into a reliable spot when you know you're getting a specific amount of chests each game. This could also solve the teaming issue in FNCS solos, which is solos just splitting the loot at a drop spot and not killing each other. Overall, I'd say Epic did a very good job with this map, and I've been extremely pleased with it thus far. In my wishlist video, I also asked for more frequent content updates. Obviously, with Winterfest and everything else Fortnite has introduced so far, they have delivered. But it's hard to tell at this point in the season, because we've gotten pretty much everything in the season so far in previous seasons. Everything so far is almost expected at this point. Man, that sounds really bad, but Fortnite really does spoil us. Real quick, I did want to add that we did also receive the Guardian Shield recently, which was a great item, and I actually covered that in my last video, so please go check that out if you haven't already. Back to the video. In my Chapter 4 wishlist video, I wanted there to be a decent map changes every 2 to 3 weeks, kind of like last season. Like I said before, it's hard to say if this has come true because we're only 3 weeks into the season anyways. The content so far, though, has been absolutely insane, with Winterfest and My Hero Academia coming out in the same week, only 2 weeks after the release of a complete new chapter. Pretty crazy. Fortnite's communication has also been great, which was the next point I wanted to make. They acted very quickly with the balance update towards the beginning of the season and various other balances the community has brought to Epic's attention. Then, when Epic brings these changes, I wanted them to explain why they made these changes, not just changes were being made, and they have definitely done this and more. This has been one of the best starts this season as far as communication is concerned, so well done, Epic. Oh, one thing I wanted to add that I forgot to add is that I wanted to talk about the new augment system. The new augment system has been great, and at the beginning of the chapter, I thought it was going to be kind of cluttered and it might be useless, kind of like the not the attachments, but the thing they did in Chapter 2, Season 6 with the primal weapons, where you had like a makeshift shotgun and then you gather materials and upgrade it, or the side grading system. But the augments have actually worked out to be very nice. Like, they're very clean. Glider redeploy, which I talked about earlier, and all those other things, like getting a tactical AR and a combat shotgun, that is overpowered, by the way. But I just want to emphasize that the augments have done a great job just spicing up the gameplay and overall just making the game feel really refreshing. And I think it really helped deliver the new chapter and overall just made the whole perception of Chapter 4 a lot better. Okay, this is where things start to get a little more negative, but if you're more of a casual player, then I guess everything I'm about to say is kind of irrelevant to you. This section is all about arena and the competitive system. I specifically asked for an arena rework that sadly didn't happen. As a matter of fact, it's the exact same thing. The main mode is still duos, which I can get behind because it enables them to have LAN events, which I'm completely fine with and understand, although they haven't really announced any big events yet, but I'm hoping they do soon. I also wanted to see them do away with the 2-round solo cash cups and maybe implement that system into duos so we could really see the storylines develop, but this sadly did not happen. I also wanted to see more skin cups, but it's kind of too early to really know if this is going to happen or not. It also didn't seem like Fortnite added more console cups, which is kind of a letdown because I feel like console players should be going against people on their own platform so they can more easily gauge their skill. They still have the Champions Cup and the PlayStation Cup, but all in all, that's really not a whole lot of opportunity for those console players. I would have loved to see the return of the daily cups over winter break while everyone was out of school, but sadly that didn't happen, obviously. I also wanted there to be more LTM cups like Floor is Lava. These tourneys are so much fun and really spice things up. Another tourney that's very notable is the Laser Beam and Fresh Cup with the Flintlock pistol. That was so fun to watch, and I hope they bring more of that back. I also wanted to see them do away with the divisional cups, but it seems like they're geared more towards the idea of using them as a stepping stone for FNCS, which could make them more exciting and interesting. Okay, in this next segment, I'm going to be talking about controller buffs, which I wanted in my wish list. I feel like mouse and keyboard players are pulling further and further away from controller players nowadays with all the new features that are being introduced. Unfortunately, it's gotten even worse with Chapter 4 because of the new augment feature now having to take up another bind space. I can speak on how annoying this is because I now have to give up my emoting button. It shouldn't have to be this way, man. But it would be easy for them to enable multiple things on one bind, like maybe one augment would be a press of the button, and you would have to hold the button down to bring up the emote wheel. I could see this being a great feature for controller players like myself. I would also love there to be a single button reset, and I know that would be another bind, but I would like just having that option so that maybe I can just replace something else and add that reset button to kind of compete with the mouse and keyboard scroll wheel reset. I also want a slight buff to long range AR aim assist. It's not too bad with the red eye, but it's not anywhere close to the burst AR last chapter, like the AUG. Long range aim assist is still pretty rough. Alrighty everyone, that pretty much sums up my thoughts about the new chapter. Overall, I think Epic has done a great job so far, and I think it's truly the most fun I've had on Fortnite since the intro of Zero builds and the start season during Chapter 2. With all this excitement, I'm super excited for Fortnite's future, especially with Creative 2.0 looming on the horizon, but that's for a different video. Alrighty everyone, thanks so much for watching. Before you go, don't forget to smash a like on the video, and please comment your favorite part about Fortnite Chapter 4 and the part you hate the most about it. Anyways, I love you all very, very much, and I'll speak with you again in the next video. Peace out.